Evening, all folks. Hope you're well. Voice has gone a little. Been at the guitar and bass show yesterday, Saturday, talking over guitars. Bass was perfectly audible, not loud. Everything was great. Guitars, wow, it was mental. It's just like I got to shout to hear it, and just anyway. All is good. Welcome to Brooksy's Bass Corner live chat 155. 155? Just check that. Check that. It is 155, isn't it? I'm not one ahead. It is 155. Very good. Very good. Hope you're all safe and well. Welcome to Brooksy's Bass Corner live chat 155. Coming to you from London, here in the UK. It's 2 minutes past 6, 3 minutes past 6. Good to have you along. Hope you're all good. Welcome to the live chat. It has been a mental week at Brooks Towers. I knew it would be. We knew it would be. I just want to check a little something on my diary. Just bear with me 2 seconds, folks. It's just crossed my mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, in 11 weeks and 2 days, we've gone from a message on my WhatsApp. You know what's coming, don't you? To that. It's in my hands. I've never been part of a magazine from the very outset, from, initial ideas and first issue. It's here. It's in my hands. I can't show you all the content, but that's what having a subscription and stuff is about. As time rolls on and we publish more issues, then I'm allowed to show previous content and what have you. I will be doing some blurred content on the socials and on YouTube. One thing I'm going to show you. You won't be able to see it particularly clearly on screen. Those of you who've been to the guitar and bass show know what's coming. Those of you who are waiting for your subscriptions, you will get this issue this week. However, now I didn't know this was coming, and but anyway, for your own personal amusement and enjoyment, okay? I only got interviewed for the back page, didn't I? I did sort of mention it last week, but yeah, there we are. Brooksy's Bass Corner on the back page of the magazine, no less. Thank you very much to Joel McIver, my editor, for that. And I said to him, when he asked me, he said, I want to interview you for the back cover. I said, are you sure? I don't think anyone's going to want to read that. He said, you'd be surprised. I replied, I'd be amazed. But anyway, we're there. The channel's going from strength to strength. We're going to talk about the show. We can talk about what the topic of conversation is. We're going to talk about lots of things that sort of have happened this week and things and meeting people and re-establishing business connections and all that sort of thing. But it's here, physical. So for those of you wondering, this is 34 pages minus the covers. Okay. Your monthly subscription, if you've taken out a subscription to the magazine, thank you very much. Good work, team. It's going to be more than double that thickness. So that's 34 pages. It's going to be more than double. I think the monthly one's going to be 84 or 86. So it's going to be a nice sizable amount of stuff. I can give you a very quick sort of flick through, but we won't do every page, of course. But there's you got the initial pages, and we've got interviews and quick roundup of gear from Nam, and Stu Ham's in there, and String to his friends, Sting to the rest of us mere mortals. Flea's in there, Yolanda Charles, MBE no less, she's in here. Susie Quattro, the lovely Mark Stickley from Bass Direct, he's in there. Hello, Mark, if you watch, I don't think you even watch the live chats, do you? I saw you yesterday eating your lunch, but yeah. Then we get into the reviews and stuff, so that's all here. And as I've mentioned to you fine folks, you have the paper-based reviews. If you have the digital content, you can not only read the reviews, you can watch the video reviews that I've done, which is what my last sort of 4 weeks of time has been taken up doing. We have the theory and the tuition sections, of course. And then we get to my section. So if you're on the digital version, or you have access to the digital app, I guess you do when you have the paper-based magazine subscription, you will then have the clickable links. Although Joel was telling me on the way up yesterday, he said, you remember when we did some video content for BGM for the tuition, aren't you? Yeah. He said, I had this Wally rang me up, somehow managed to get my number, and rang me up because he had the paper-based magazine and he couldn't find the part where he had to tap to get the videos. No, that was in digital form. You had to go onto the magazine website and you could see the videos. You don't press the paper, you don't press a piece of paper and a video pops up. The guy thought it did. Anyway, that poor bloke. So again, you get the digital content. All the review videos that I've been doing are there, and ideas that are circulating is it's not just going to be reviews going forward. There's going to be all sorts of content going up via the digital version. So it's absolutely fabulous. Well done, team. Well done to Mark, people at Fellows Media. Well done to the editor. He's pulled all this together. And like I say, 11 weeks and 2 days ago, I had no concept this was even happening. And there was no idea. No one had mentioned to me that there might be a new bass mag. But then why would they? But thankfully, Joel came and sort of knocked on my door and said, would you get involved in this? And I said, happily. Let's have a discussion and see what we can do. And here we are, 11 weeks and 2 days later. The magazine's out. It's a physical thing. Off we go. The boys ride again. So come on in, folks. Brooksy's Bass Corner live chat, 155 here on the channel. I'm going to quickly go through the comments. Say hello to you all. And then there's an email that I'd like to go through. So a fine gentleman yesterday was at the bass and guitar show, guitar and bass show, whichever way you want to call it. And he saw me doing a bit of filming. He's a regular viewer here on the channel, but he never comes in on the live chats, doesn't get involved in the text or the on video stuff. Loves the channel, but was incredibly shy and didn't want to come and say hello. So I'm going to just refer to your email. I hope you don't mind me doing this. I'm going to refer to your email, and I haven't done sort of what I'm going to do for quite a while, but I think it needs reiterating for people who may be coming into the channel for the first time, maybe first time you've ever watched one of my videos. If so, you're very welcome. Good to see you here. But I just want to address a couple of things that he raised in his email. But first of all, let's say hello to who's popping in here. So, Zuma, my mate. Hope you're well. Hope everything worked out at the vet yesterday with the cat. And Zuma and I have started writing. What am I talking about? Filming our latest episode for the Duran. What do you call it? Overview that we're doing on all the Duran albums. And we started recording it last night. It's amazing. I can't tell you where an hour and a quarter goes, but it just flies by when we're talking about one of our favourite bands. And we're going to finish recording it. I assume you're still all right with this, young man. Going to finish recording it after this live chat. So, and then once it's in the young man's hands, it's give it a week or so, and it'll be up for you to watch. It's the big one, isn't it? It's Rio. It's Rio. 3 videos in, and we get to the biggest album they've ever had. So, yeah. Stacey saying hello. Leo, good to see you. Beat after beat. Super stuff. Zuma, whoa, it lives. Give us a bit more juice on your voice, Mike. I will do that. Probably because I've got the mic slightly lower. Is that better? Don't want it distorting. It's a fine line. Hey, I did all this before. Is it really that low? Okay, let me just check the mic settings. Audio. We don't want any of that. We want lots of volume. Is that better? A little better. Got the mic a little lower. Yeah, hopefully that's better, but I don't want it distorting, you know. Right, okay. Leo, beat after beat. Everyone's saying hello. Gareth Harrison, good to see you too. Nice win for us this afternoon. Gone up to third. We're on a roll. Leo, but for you, you're right. Very good. It's the morning, isn't it? It's for Zuma, yes. I actually, when I woke up this morning, put me in. When I woke up this morning, Zuma was still awake. He hadn't gone to bed. He said, have you stayed up all night? I went, you're joking. I've just woken up. I said, it's 8 o'clock. He went, oh my God, it's midnight. I need to go to bed. Yes, you do. Stacey just turned 108 there. Very good. Lots of French going on. Excellent. Good. We will do the Rio thing. Actually, very quickly before I get to this email, I was just listening to Rio as I've been going through stuff for regarding the show and the magazine. And we were talking last night on My Own Way on Rio that you thought there might be fretless in that middle section. You might be right, but I still think it is probably fretted with chorus, although reading it, the sound he gets on My Own Way is similar to the sound he gets on Save a Prayer, that I always thought was fretless, but it's not. And I did a Google search. It turns out he used a phaser, an electro-harmonics phaser. And obviously he's got the rate sort of control well down because that's a very smooth sounding phaser. So yeah, he was using that. So I wonder if it was the fretted, either SB1000 or the 900 with that phaser on. So it could well be. What was the other point we were talking about? Lonely in Your Nightmare we did. Rio we did. And we were rattling through Hungry Like the Wolf. So it's all good. We could talk about this stuff for hours, me and him. But anyway, you don't know about the phaser, but I do know it's double tracked. That would help as well. So I was reading a thing from a fretless bass website, but they interviewed John around about the time of Paper Gods. And apparently, according to him, how much of this he remembers, I don't know. But apparently he had that phaser, the MXR phaser. He had a chorus and a flanger. So he was going for the whole modulation kit. And he would use that phaser quite a bit, apparently. So whenever he wanted to sound a little fretlessy without having to pick up a fretless, he would go for that phaser. Beat after beat, Duran sound is full of surprises. Don't we know it? Don't we know it? Right, let me get to this email. So if you're watching, the gentleman's name is Mark Morris Jones. Mark, if you're out there watching, hope you don't mind me referring to this. But I thought it was about time here on the channel. You know how I operate. You know how the channel operates. I don't tolerate bullying. I don't accept people coming on here being aggressive. They come in on the shorts feed or the vertical stream feed, and they come in, they're nasty, they get booted out. We don't have any of that. I won't have people being bullied on my channel. I won't have people being aggressive and rude and bringing politics and religion and all that crap here on a bass channel. So that's, but anyway, Mark, I know exactly who you are because you said you were in the corridor when I started filming the footage that I filmed yesterday. I was rattling through that footage earlier and I saw you on the thing. Hello. Right, let me read this and then we can flesh it out so everyone's thinking, what the hell's he talking about? So Mark sent me this email last night once I got home. So he says, hi, Mike. Spotted you at the Guitar and Bass show today. Very good. I was going to say hello, but I'm pretty shy. So first point, any of you, if we're ever out doing stuff, recording for the mag or at a bass show, or you see me in a bass shop and you think, I'm too shy, just come and say hello. I'm a very approachable chap. If you've got cake, even better. That's always a bonus. You know, we can talk about cake and eat it. It's all good. But yeah, always come up and say hello. Okay, unless I'm immensely busy and I will say, hi, I'm really busy. Let me get this done. And I'll come talk to you. That's generally how I work. So he says, yeah, I was going to come and say hello, but I'm pretty shy. Okay. You may have seen and captured me on video. I was the big grey-haired guy in the blue coat standing in the corridor when you started recording your video footage, who I've now seen watching the footage back. I'm a subscriber to your channel, but I tend to sit and watch in anonymity. Okay. That's entirely your call. That's fine. Watching regular contributors talk about their alembic collections, I feel as a casual player who now plays an Indonesian Squire Precision Special, and I play in a pub covers band, what have I got to bring to the table? Right. This is my point. No one should ever come here on Brooksy's Bass Corner, whether it's the live chats, you're watching the content, getting involved in the community tabs, the socials, anything. Never, ever, ever, whether it's Mark or anyone else, ever feel that because you're not a pro or a semi-pro, or you've got a £50,000 bass or a huge collection, that does not make your viewpoint any less worthwhile. You could have a £40 car boot sale bass and everything's falling off it. Your viewpoint is as valid as anyone else's. Okay, so I never want people to say, "Oh, I feel like I'm a bit inferior when you guys have got all this gear and you know all your stuff." No, no, no. This channel is about providing information, some guidance, pointing you in the right direction, tapping into my experience, my knowledge of having done this for 31 years as a professional. Next year will be 40 years since I started playing. If I can pass on any crumb of knowledge that helps someone get further in their journey in bass, music, doing it professionally, whether you play professionally, an amateur, semi-pro, you play for your own enjoyment at home, your viewpoint is completely as valid as the next guy. I could have Chris Childs from Thunder on here. Your viewpoint is as valid as Chris's. Simple as that. I will not have pecking orders and people say, "Oh, you know, we shouldn't have beginners on," or any crap. It's my channel. I call the shots. That's the way this works. And I will never have someone come on the live chat or feel too shy that they think they're going to get either shouted down or their view isn't worthy, or because they don't have an expensive bass. No. You can have the cheapest bass on the planet. Your view, what you get out of it, is just as important. I've learned some of the most important bass playing lessons, crumbs of advice and stuff from people who weren't professional players, but I can always learn something from watching another person play bass. There's always something. So it could just be the way their fretting hand moves, positional playing, how they're hearing things, their progressions, what have you. There is always something you can pick up. So Mark, if you're out there, please always feel like you can get involved in the live chats, leave comments on the videos, get involved in as much of the channel as you feel comfortable with. But if you don't want to, I have no problem with that. And no one has to do anything here on this channel. I produce the content. How you guys use it, watch it, get involved in it, that is entirely up to you. But I will never have someone here on the channel feel like they're not worthy, or their view is not worthy, or what they use makes them a far less of a player. Crap. I'm not having any of that. So Mark, anytime you want to get involved on the live chat, you feel free. Okay, so he ends his message with, "All that said, I enjoy your content and the conversations. I'll be watching tomorrow." So Mark Morris Jones, you're out there. You are always welcome on this channel. Any of the content, you get involved in it how you wish. If you don't want to, that's cool. If you want to come on the live chats, get involved. Got questions, want some advice or some pointers or what have you, that's what we're here for. Okay, so people like yourself, if I can help, having done 4,500 gigs and nearly 40 years playing, if I can offer something that helps you, that's what we're here for. Okay. And as I said to Mark in my reply, you're saying you play in a pub covers band. I've done more pub covers gigs than most people could shake a stick at. Okay, so a huge chunk of my career was doing pub covers. And even when I was doing other stuff and getting paid better for doing bigger gigs and playing abroad and what have you, I'd come back and I'd carry on doing pub covers gigs. It's a little less in terms of me doing that now, because so few pubs, certainly here in London and the southeast, still have bands. It's a dying scene, if I can put it that way. But that's the way I see it. So Mark, we met, but we didn't say hello at the show. So as I say, anyone, if you ever bump into me and we're out bass stores but we're even just out in the street, if we happen to cross paths and you go, oh, what's your channel? Just say hello. It's cool. I'll never shut someone down unless I'm in the middle of a phone call and it's important, like something to do with my folks, or I'm in the middle of doing something work-wise, and I will stop doing what I'm doing, and I'll say to you, give me 5 minutes, I'll come back to you. So that's generally how I work. And that's how the channel works, okay? So, yeah. But I'm never having someone here on the channel made to feel like they're inferior. That's not happening. Not on my watch. Right, Adrian Carpenter, good to see you. Welcome. 50 Thunderer, good to see you too. So there's Stacy, Beat After Beat. His channel has accepted me as a music channel and not a bass player. We'll take you any way you want to present yourself, Beat. You know that. Zuma, we are one. Exactly, that's it. Gareth, well said. You've always made me feel welcome. Of course, like I can have myself. That is what this is about. There's too much stuff here on YouTube and on the socials and what have you. The elitist thing, you know, oh, we don't want people who don't know what they're doing. Crap. It's a bass channel. Everyone can, it's a melting pot. That's why I love about what we have here on Brooksy's Bass Corner. The people that come on here, the 5,154 subscribers that we have. You all get involved in one way or another. You watch the content, you leave comments, you share it out. We're building something here. The original premise of this channel was an educational resource to provide a library of demo and review content, because if we didn't come out of COVID and we never got out gigging again, but people wanted to buy instruments and they couldn't go to a store, the whole general premise was to create a library of sound and visual content for people to refer to, so they didn't waste their money on big money purchases if they were buying a big money bass and they didn't know how it was going to play or sound. Obviously, I've extended the remit considerably from that time, and we do a lot of other things here on the channel, but that was the general idea. So no, everyone's view is valid. Whether I agree with it or not, that's you put things out there to discuss, and then we discuss them, and yeah. But you know, I won't have people feel like they can't you know, ask for help or ask questions about bass. I thoroughly encourage all that. 50 Thunder, you've gigged with some beat up basses over the years. I've got a collection of guitars. Each one of them tells a story, carries a memory or two. Exactly. Stacey, exactly. Tidbits are everywhere and can come from anyone. Who was it who told you about using the Fab cling film on your pedal board? No, that was personal experience. That was in my old covers band with Steve from FM. And his pedal board kept getting covered in crap on gigs where people would walk past with their drinks and get like half a pint of Guinness on your pedals. And he just got the hump. And he said, we've got to find a way to... Oh, and we were in Israel doing our gigs. Same thing was happening. People were putting their drink glasses on the stage and they would just get knocked over with the vibration from the subs under the stage. And he said, there's got to be a way around this. And what it was, we went to the catering part in the kitchen, and they gave us a roll of cling film. We wrapped his pedal board in the cling film, and that was it. Never had a problem again. So when I started doing the outdoor shows with Uncle Funk, doing the festivals, and it's raining, you remember there was that gig on the Bass String Experiment, where we turned up at that festival in Cromer in Norfolk, and it was absolutely hissing down. I was thinking, what did we do? What did we do with his board? I couldn't remember. About 4 days later, I was walking through Costco, walked past the kitchenware bit, and there's all the cling film. And ding, eureka! That's what we did. We got the roll of cling film from the caterers in our hotel, and wrapped his board in the cling film. That was it. Little nuggets, you see, little nuggets. So while we're here, so yesterday I had the very lovely joy of seeing young Danny Sapko. You're out there. You might be driving home. You might be at the pub. You'll be packing up either way from the show. And he's a good lady. Pleasure to meet you. And I caught up with him yesterday. We had a nice little chat. He was very busy all day. He was being bombarded by the hordes, but that was fine. We had a lovely chat. But I did purchase one of those, didn't I? Of course, has to be done. Has to be done. But he was in good form. very happy. Said hello to everyone on the channel. And next time he's down south here, we're trying to arrange if we can do something, or certainly meet up for lunch and have a chat and record a bit of a chat. So we'll see. We will see. Okay, I'm going to tell you about the mag, tell you about the show. Tonight's topic of conversation, it's only taken me 27 minutes to get to it. So this is not a thing. So I don't want people suddenly in socials land and YouTube and everywhere go, oh, Mike said there's getting... No, that's not what I'm saying. Read what's on the screen. Read what's on the screen. If, might never happen. Might not happen. Not in my lifetime. It might not happen again. But if, and I can hear my editor in my ear now going, what's he doing? Why is he doing this? I want to gauge. I want to get an idea for the regulars on Brooksy's Bass Corner. An informed collection of people. They know their stuff. If we were to have a bass-specific show, either in the UK or in London, replicating what we did at the old bass shows. Those who came know exactly what I'm talking about. All the manufacturers, the masterclasses, the live performances, the bass celebrities, all of that. If it was feasible, and it could happen, and I'm not saying it will, it may never happen. It takes a lot of money to do this. Depends how well the magazine does. But if we did another show, or if there was another show, and the mag was involved in some way, wherever you are on the planet, this is not just UK specific, because we used to get so many people from the London Bass Show flying in from all over the world. We had people from Australia would come in, Japan, US, loads of people from Europe, Middle East, Far East, the whole shooting match. Would you buy a ticket? Would you buy a ticket? So especially for those of you in the US who I've recounted all these stories to and told you what used to happen, and Lord knows there's plenty of video up on YouTube of those previous shows. You know, it's like a smaller version of NAMM, much smaller, but we got the bass celebs would come. They knew what the mag was about. They knew the team that wrote on it. They knew that if we put on a show, it was worth coming to do. And obviously the sort of various bass celebrities, if they're the company of the instruments they were endorsing, the pedals, the strings, they would back it all up with promotion and what have you. But if we were to do, or if there was to be another show like that, that's bass specific, not bundled in with a guitar show, would you buy a ticket? Would you buy a ticket? I can't sell it any more than I have over the past 5.5 years, because lots of discussions yesterday. It was very clear within about 2 hours of being there. We arrived at 10 o'clock. Very clear by about midday that there's still a very good, alive and kicking bass community as we had it in those days. So very often, a lot of the bass players wouldn't see each other. How often are you on a gig with another bass player? Unless you're on a festival or a university gig or something like that. If you're doing a gig in a venue, unless a bass player comes in to watch you or just happens to be drinking there, you're not going to meet another bass player, because there's only one bass player in a band, generally. But when we did those shows, it was the whole UK bass community, and then all these other people coming in, and you could rub shoulders with Stu Ham or Robert Trujillo or Peter Hook or Billy Sheehan, Mark King. We afforded that level of connection, but also all the bass players and the pros and the amateurs and the hobby players and people just with an interest of bass. We were all part of that community, and it was fab. And yesterday showed me that hasn't gone, that hasn't dissipated, even though I know they did the guitar and bass show last year, but the last London event, which also was a guitar and bass show, but was under our steam with the magazines, and with Future Publishing. That was 2019, 7 years ago. But I just thought today, I wonder how much would people, because I've said before, I was saying to the editor and the publisher yesterday, not a week really goes by since I set this channel up, and even before I set the channel up, where people wouldn't message me or message on socials or an email going, oh, I really missed the London show. When are we going to do another London-based show? And it's like, well, it doesn't work like that. It was part of the magazine. That's kind of what it was about. But also, up until this week, yes, there was Bass Review magazine, but I don't know, Dan. I wasn't involved in any of that. But here we are. We have a new, tangible, paper-based magazine with the added benefit of a digital version and the video content to back it all up. So, yeah, just wondering, would you buy a ticket? I don't know. I think kind of the prices used to be, like I think it was 20 quid or just over 30 for a double ticket for the whole weekend. So, and I would always say to people, you want to come both days if you can, because we don't have the same people performing. Like, they don't all turn up for one day and then do it all again the next day. We have players coming across both days. So you, and sometimes people would appear at the show who you didn't know were coming, and they were just sort of mooching around, enjoying the show. So I would always say, make it a 2-day event if you want to get the full experience and get a cheap travel lodge or a Premier Inn locally, and just do it. Make a weekend of it, because you won't forget it. The first 2 shows, I just turned up as a punter. I wasn't even there as working for the magazine. Even though I offered my services, the original publisher was like, oh, no, we've got all the office staff there doing it. Okay, all right. And then once we were with Blaze and Joel was editor, he said, no, want you there. You've got interviews and reviews to do, as well as all the other stuff. So, okay, right. And they were truly some of the greatest weekends of my life. I recall to the fine people from Vintage Bass Room up in Northumberland yesterday. In 2015, I was in a room and we had the photo done. It was Stu Ham, Billy Sheehan, Doug Wimbish, Mark King popped in and then disappeared again. I had all these guys in a row, and we all went out for food and drinks and what have you afterwards. That was the deal. But you could be a punter at the show and come and hang out with them and have drinks and food and what have you. So that was a thing. That, to sit in a pub with, and you can literally in a row talk to Mark King, Billy Sheehan, Doug Wimbish, Stu Ham, and any number of other people as well. As Dave Swift would be there, putting the pints of Trooper away, of course. And that's what it was about. And we built this lovely community. And since those shows don't happen, it's very hard keeping in touch with everyone, keeping the community thriving in that sense. Thankfully, since those days, lots of us have created YouTube channels, and certain people have created whole businesses on their socials, YouTube and what have you. So I just wanted to know, I was inquisitive to know, would you guys buy tickets? I know it's harder for the people who live abroad, but if you really wanted like a bass-focused weekend and you were prepared to buy a weekend pass, so you got the whole thing, I'm just interested. I'm intrigued. If it was a thing and the magazine in conjunction with someone else, or if the magazine was able to afford it, we'll have to see how it goes, won't we? But if it worked out and it was financially viable, it would be fab. It would be fab. So, yeah, I just wanted to put it out there. Right. 50 Thunder. I love Sapco's Rickenbacker bass sound. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Did you see the video the other day he put up? We put a set of round wounds on his Wilcock 102 medium scale, the bass that I said to him, you've done very well with that, haven't you? He said, I can't thank you enough. It's amazing. I said, yeah, good job. I pointed you in that direction, wasn't it? But his sound with the rotor sounds on, beautiful. A thing of beauty. Gareth Harrison, I would definitely buy a ticket and make a weekend of it, taking some of the music stores in the area. Well, again, I haven't specified whether it would be in London or somewhere else in the UK or whatever. But to be fair, if you came down, you would need to come down on the Friday if it was London to go to the bass stores, because once you're in the show from 10 till 5, you don't want to be going anywhere else. And once you left the show at 5, there wouldn't be any music or bass stores open for you to go to. So you would need to do that on the Friday. So you'd need to come down Thursday, do your shops and stuff on the Friday, and then the 2 days of the show, and that would be the way it would go. Barry Ballbag, well, hello. Hello there. How are you? Zuma, even if I couldn't go, you'd buy a ticket just to support you. It's just a fine chap. No, you really should come over. Again, what would be to say we wouldn't get John Taylor on? That might be a thing. We have had discussions over the last day or so about what we might do with Mr. Taylor. So we'll see. Me and the editor have a WhatsApp group called the Melting Pot, which is where all our ideas for what we potentially could do are now going, and then he has to figure out how we sort of rattle through them. So it's good. It's good. Stacey, don't know if things could work this way, or there's also an option to purchase tickets and attend remotely. That wouldn't work. There'd be too technologically messy, I think, unless they set up small, cheap GoPros or something. I don't know. I think it would just be, well, going on yesterday's experience, the Wi-Fi was a mess. Certain times it was great, and other times it was absolutely abysmal. And if you think you've got a conference centre full of people on Wi-Fi, it was hard. It was really hard yesterday. So I'm not sure that would work. Good idea, but I don't think it would work. I mean, it could be that the masterclasses and the live performances could be done, because the way we used to operate was all of those were filmed anyway as content for the mag. But the weird thing was, they rarely ever use, like we used to record, I think, 2014 I wasn't there, but there were certainly people filming performances. But 2015, all of the interviews were done in an interview room. So it had lights and a backdrop and da-da-da. They filmed it all. I never saw any of the content. It's like it all got stored. And when we went to Future, I don't know what happened to it. But the shows under Future's jurisdiction, they carried on filming interviews and stuff. But again, as far as I know, none of it ever surfaced. So there's probably about 10 interviews that I did with various bass players of note, somewhere on someone's hard drive. Maybe they're still with Future, I don't know. But absolutely wasted content. And now in this day and age, you could, oh God, the amount of clips you could make. Be incredible. Martin, good to see you. Yeah, we need events like that again, don't we? Just there's a huge community out there, as yesterday showed. Stacey, let's try that again. In the salon world, the big shows offer remote tickets and exclusive online show content for those who can't attend. Yeah, but those sort of shows have huge backing and financial resource from the manufacturers, the product manufacturers and what have you. Bass world is a little bit different, and certainly in our industry, promotional budgets for this sort of thing have been cut quite radically, which is why a lot of the manufacturers now don't necessarily attend NAMM. They pump all their promotional budget into influencers, you know, I guess people like myself, although I don't do a huge amount of that, but people who have huge Instagram profiles, Facebook profiles, TikTok profiles, and all of that. That's where they put their money rather than hiring stands at shows. And again, this is another thing, that if we did that show, how do you price the stands? Because yesterday was a different thing. So the guitar section was downstairs, huge. Bass section was upstairs, small, self-contained in one room, but it worked perfectly. The show we used to do would have been similar to what was downstairs. You wouldn't have the upstairs bit as well, but it would the stands would need to be competitively priced. Now, I don't know. I have no idea how much that cost for the people running it yesterday to hire and then charge out for the stands. I think I saw Richard comment that they were looking at a stand, him and some of his colleagues, and it was like £600. And I said, that's cheap. It used to be a couple of grand in London. So I don't know if the place we were at yesterday near Birmingham was considerably cheaper. I would expect it was. In which case, do the show there. Doesn't have to be in London. The one big benefit for when the shows were in London, that all the stars coming over from other parts of the world, they flew into Heathrow and bang, they're there on the tube. Like from Heathrow to, I guess Earl's Court, but we were at Olympia. So anyway, you could be there very quick within about 20 minutes. So, and I know a lot of the big names liked that aspect, that they could fly in, get on the tube or get a cab or whatever, and they were there really quick. Stay in the hotel, the Hilton, just up the road from the venue, and then when they're finished on the Monday morning, tube back to Heathrow or taxi, and they fly off again. Great. We were quite efficient in how we ran all that, although I wasn't privy to any of that, of course. The only thing was the costs started to spiral a little too much out of control, and by about 2017, 2018, the show actually really wasn't making a huge amount of money. A lot of it was sort of going out on sort of, base celebrity costs, but there we are. But it's just I'm just throwing the idea out there. I'm not saying it will happen. It's certainly not something I've spoken to the publisher about or anything. But it's just, we have experience in this. So, sorry, I've just seen something. Hang on, just bear me a moment, folks. There we are, done. Right, that is good. That's good. Yep. Right, okay. So, yeah. But that's the topic of conversation tonight. Let me know, would you buy a ticket for such an event? As bass players, of course. Not mixing with the guitarists, if you don't have to. So, it's coming up 7:15 here in London. This is Live Chat 155 here on Brooksy's Bass Corner. If I saw you at the show yesterday and I didn't say hello, I apologise. I was flying around like a dervish yesterday. My intention was to film loads of stuff for the channel, get it all done. There is a video that I've got to edit up tomorrow. I did a very small live chat. Again, the Wi-Fi wasn't playing ball all the time. And once we got downstairs, it was so noisy, I just thought, this is not going to look good. And probably the mic's going to distort a lot. And it was so many people on the downstairs guitar section. I just thought, nah, I wouldn't watch it. So I didn't expect anyone else would want to. So I just filmed a section for the bass part upstairs. But there we go. So if you've got any questions, we're talking bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, consumables, strings, cleaning materials, gig bags, kettles? No, not kettles. Cases. All of that sort of stuff. You want to talk about any great bass players, albums with great bass playing on. If you're looking for some advice, gear advice, playing advice, whatever we can help with, put your cursor or insertion point in the live chat window. If you're on the mobile app, it's directly below. If you're on the desktop, it's that way. Put your cursor or insertion point in the comment box at the bottom of the live chat. Press send. It'll appear here on the screen. Then we can reply to it, respond to it. How does this say? Gareth, it's hard enough mixing with guitar players on a gig, never mind an event or show. There were moments yesterday, again, why the old Hobson's is a little raspy and sort of a little lower in register, is that I was just talking to so many companies and trying to reestablish connections, and a lot of them didn't even know we had a mag. So it was showing them what we're doing, showing them the mag, of course. That's what we're talking about, folks. All very nice and glossy. Nice production on it. Oh, you can't see it because of the glare of the lights, of course. But it's all quite fab. And then explain to them the digital content and how all that works. So it was a job. And before I knew it, it was 5 o'clock. And it was like, hang on, I haven't done any testing or trying things I wanted to try. And I thought I could do it the second day. But anyway, that wasn't to be. So but I was very pleased that the show on Saturday sold all of its tickets in advance. And I suspect that could well be because of the bass community. And because they had a good show last year and people suddenly thought, oh, we can develop this and make it a little more like the bass show used to be. It seems to have worked. But people got off their backsides and sort of bought a ticket and came along. It was good. It was good. Gaz, still think the mag should run a YouTube channel. Okay. Right. I can't remember if it was you that said that last week. It might well have been. It was a question that I put to Joel, my editor, some weeks ago. And I initially fired off to the publisher when we first started chatting at the end of January. And I remember saying, if you don't got a YouTube channel, you're not going to put the videos up on that. And he went, oh, no, we don't really have a YouTube channel. And on Thursday, I got the digital copy of that magazine and saw the video links. I was like, oh, okay, right, let's tap it. Let's see what happens, where it goes. What did it go to? A YouTube channel. So Fellows Media have a YouTube channel, but they've never done anything with it. There's literally about, I don't know, 10 horse videos, like horse riding videos. And that's about it. So they've then put my video reviews up and I've said, you've either got to make a specific magazine YouTube channel or you need to put these videos into a playlist just for the mag. And then all the other content that you have for your other mags go in their own playlist. This is all up for discussion, but because this is a sample issue, we can get by. When we start having the proper issue 1 with Geddy Lee on the cover, we've got to have it addressed. So at the moment, those videos are on Fellows Media YouTube channel, but they're private at the moment. So unless you've got access to the digital version of the mag, you can't go on there as a punter. You won't be able to play the videos. They will go live tomorrow. And I will be having a chat with the people that run the channel in the office to see how we're going to do this, how we're going to sort of progress it forward. So, yeah. So, yeah, they do have a YouTube channel. It's just under the Fellows Media mantle. Mark Morris Jones, here you are. You're watching. Thanks for bringing up my email on the channel. Pleasure. You appreciate it. I thought everything you said resonated with me, and I thought, if that's how people feel, I'm not having it. So, you know, it's all inclusive, this channel. I won't have anyone feel like they're not worthy. So, no. So you're always welcome, Mark. Resurrect the bass show with star players would be nice. They charge a lot of money. That's one of the issues. Chris Childs nailed Pino's tone on that fretless Stingray. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He's great. Love Chris. Great player, lovely guy. But you're very welcome on here, Mark, anytime. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for the support, mate. You should have just come up and said hello to me yesterday. It wouldn't have been a problem. Neville McClanagan. Hey, key thing is accessibility. Expensive getting to and staying in London. That's why I've said a UK bass show. It could be Birmingham. It could be Manchester. It could be wherever. The reason I think it always happened in London, because the publishers weren't based in London. Oyster House, the original publishers, were based down near Exeter in the West Country. Blaze Publishing were based up near Leamington Spa, so just south of Birmingham. And then Future Publishing were based, I think, Bath. So why it was always in London, I think it was just decent sized venue. I don't know how much of it was tied to the other shows that the original publisher did. So we had the other magazines like Drummer and Acoustic, and I think maybe they got a special deal from Olympia that if they ran all their shows, they got a discounted deal, maybe. I do know that a lot of the bass celebs loved the fact it was London, because it also meant if they were over here either on tour or doing promotional stuff with the equipment companies, it all tied it all together. You know, it's very hard to do something that might be way up north, and then we don't get the celebs, and then no one wants to buy a ticket. So you have all these factors. It's like massive plate spinning. Well, if we don't have these people, then people don't buy the tickets. And people don't buy the tickets, we've got no money to pay the celebs or run the show. So it's like a chicken and egg thing. Which thing's coming first? So that's generally, I think, why it was in London. I thought having it in Birmingham yesterday worked fine. I thought the venue was great. Years back, there was the Bass Bash in Manchester. Yes, School of Music Bass, yeah, which was excellent. Alternatively, rotate city venue. Yeah, it's logistics, and at the end of the day, it is money and finance. That is the deal. If the thing doesn't make money, it doesn't happen, and that's why. So 2019 was the last one that Future did with bass. Then we had COVID, of course. When we came out of COVID, you know, everyone was up against it. The companies and, you know, Joe Public were all thinking, what, you know, a lot of us weren't particularly flush, couldn't afford to go and tickets and this, that, and the other. And the thing was, I remember discussions post bass shows where it was mentioned that the publisher made little or no money holding the show. It's not a charity, it's a business. And if the shows are too expensive or you can't do them how you want to do them, then you pull them. You don't do it. So, you know, it would be nice. In an ideal world and everyone was flush with cash, yes, alternatively rotating cities and venues, great idea. I think the reason that Bass Bash in Manchester stopped was just it cost too much for people to do it. The reason we were able to do ours was there was a magazine. I had this conversation multiple times yesterday. The London Bass Show worked because there was a successful bass magazine to hang the show on. So you've got a constantly promoting, advertising space that is promoting that show. And from sort of November prior to a show in March, we would give it the run up. You'd get all the preview stuff. You would see the people that are going to be at the show. We might interview them 6 months before, and you've got their interview like 2 issues before we do the show. So you've got all of that aspect. It's hard. It is multiple plates all spinning at the same time. I've recalled here before on this live chat, and I was talking to Joel about it yesterday. In 2017, had we been able to just book the people we wanted to get for 2018, we could have had them like that. We would have had Stanley Clark, we'd have had Larry Graham, Marcus Miller, Nathan East, Mark King, and a whole bunch of others, all on that same bill. I mean, we would have filled the place. But because the publisher wouldn't let us book anyone, and as it turned out, they wouldn't let us book people for the 2018 show until the end of November, start of December in 2017, by which time all those players were booked to do other stuff. So we couldn't get them. But we had the ideas for what we wanted to do and just couldn't do it because our hands were tied. We couldn't get anyone to sign contracts to appear and book flights and book hotels because the publisher said, you don't do anything until we give it the green light. So we were always under the impression, yes, there'll be a 2018 show. But at any point, the publisher could have said, I'm not running it. But thankfully they did. And then when it became clear that might not be a goer, then we said, okay, well, if we can't do that, how about doing a best of British? So we don't need quite so many people coming in on flights. You don't really need to put everyone up in hotels. We've got British-based bass players, and it kind of cuts the expenses considerably. And that would have been a good show. So we would have had, again, Mark King, probably got John Taylor again. Chris would have been on there. Chris Charles would have got Glenn Hughes. Jack Bruce had passed by that point. Chris Squire had passed. We just had like the ideas list just never stopped. But again, we were going, oh, well, we can get these, we can get these, we can get these. And by December, they're all booked, committed to other things, gigs around the world. Had we been able to do it after the bass show, like March, April 2017, we'd have got our wish list of the people we wanted. And it wouldn't have been a no-brainer. So we will see. We'll see how it all pans out. But this is just, I'm putting it out there for discussion. Does not mean that there is a bass show. If anyone misconstrues it or I get feedback from people going, you said there's going to be a bass show. No, I haven't. That's not what I've said at all. This is me putting up a topic for discussion here on my YouTube channel. That's all it is. Neville, appreciate all the efforts in trying to make it happen. Agree that having events specifically for bass again would be special. It would, because everyone always used to say it won't work. You have to do bass with guitar. And as much as Oyster House Media did a lot of things, I was just a writer. They weren't going to listen to me. They did a lot of things I thought were very odd and a bit strange. They did get the shows off the ground because they got all the other shows for their other music magazines going. And it created the snowball effect. It had the momentum. So after those first 2 years, once bass guitar and the other titles under Oyster House stopped, that could have been the end. But thankfully, Blaze Media, who took it all on and bought all of Oyster House's titles, went, no, we're going to do the shows. And it was like, great. So 2013 was the first one I worked on, and it was like, wow, we can make this something really, 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 really good. And I remember going home with Joel in the car from the 2013 one, and he said to me, who should we get next year? I said, you want my opinion? He said, well, he said, you've just seen what we've done. What could we do? What would really do really well? I said, well, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? You want John Taylor. I said, Duran, their fans will fill the place. I said, you want him for both days, really. But if you can only get him for one, I said, I tell you, if you get him for one, look at your ticket sales for the day he's not on. Look at the ticket sales for the day he is on. And they did. They flooded the venue. I wasn't even there. And I was gutted because I was doing shows in Israel at the time. And but I heard all the stories. I got all the feedback. And so it was that. I said at the time, Green Day were severely huge around the world. I said, get Mike Dirnt. Get Fender. I think at the time he was still with Fender amplification, Fender strings, Fender bass. Just get Fender to help. He's an endorsed artist and his own range of basses and stuff. Get them to help with this. Get them to stoke the fire. Get him here. Because if you had Mike Dirnt there, and Green Day fans will buy tickets for the show like you wouldn't believe. Get John Taylor there. I said, get another smattering of pretty good, serious players. And it's a recipe for, magic to happen. And lo and behold, they get... Jack Bruce was meant to be there and he cancelled due to illness, which was understandable. Lee Sklar came in, took his place. Then a whole bunch of other people. I wasn't there. I think Roger Glover was there, I think. And it made a great show. And then the feedback was, well, 2014 was fabulous, right? We're going to knock 2015 out of the park. Like I say, 2015, you had loads of Rotor Sound artists. So Doug Wimbish was there, Billy Sheehan was there, Mark King was there, Stu Ham was there. 2015, Roger Sadowski was there, Divinity Rocks, who had just left Beyonce's band at the time. Then the following year we had Suzi Quattro, Neil Fairclough from Queen. I sorted all that out. Rhino from Quo. I could go through my interviewees list, but it was huge. So it was great. Great times, great times. Airwolf, good to see you. And the rest of us have to live with the sound and the stench of weed. Hey? I think you've probably fallen in from the shorts feed. Maybe. Shorts feed or vertical feed? What are you on about with the sound and the stench of weed? Okay. If you'd like to put a little more meat on those bones, that'd be fab. Not sure what you're referring to. So, like I say, I did all the bass shows, worked at. So 2013, 2015, 16, 17, 18 and 19, there was no stench of weed in the venues at all. I don't know what you're referring to. Anyway, it is 2 minutes past 7 here in London, here in the UK. It's live chat 155 here on Brooksy's Bass Corner. You're very welcome. Come on in. You're amongst friends. We're talking basses, bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players. If you want any help or advice, Russell Zorner, good to see you. If you had a show here, I'd buy a ticket, but I can't get to the UK. Okay, I think you have loads of shows already in the US, Russell. The old American bass player team have their bass thing going on. So yeah. Yes, come on in. If you've got any questions, fire away, folks. If you want to discuss anything, maybe you've been at the show this weekend. Anything that worked for you, anything you didn't like. I thought the bass section upstairs was quite magnificent in that the volume levels, when everyone could make noise, weren't that loud. Really, they weren't. Every 15 to 20 minutes, they do the old air horn for another 15 minutes of quiet, no playing. And I thought that worked great. I didn't see anyone really getting the hump. Downstairs, it was a different thing, but bigger room, lots of people demoing and playing. And I have to say, though, quite a few companies, especially the pedal companies, were all doing ears, headphones, IEMs, all of that. So if you had IEMs with you, you just plug in and away you go, which I thought was great. That was good to see. McIver Bass, just check out your videos. Thank you. Some look pretty interesting. So you've grabbed a sub. Thank you very much. Fabulous. Please give the video live chat a thumbs up, folks. That's the most important thing. Thank you for the sub. Very much appreciated. Best thing you can do for the videos, any videos here on the channel, thumbs ups, comments and shares. That's the big thing. So folks, please give the live chat thumbs up if you'd be so kind. Russell Zorner, what does weed sound like? I don't know. You need to go out in the garden when it's blowing a gale and sort of record it, maybe. Zuma, a bass player live hasn't happened for years. No, so basically the old writing team for Bass Player have a new operation called Bass or Bass Magazine. They do something, and I know they were handing out awards, I think, at NAMM, but they do something. Because I've seen photos and video clips, and that wasn't at NAMM. So you're also in need of a revival. What, you personally? I thought you were in good form last night. Neville, having practical masterclass by luthiers on example bass setups. That was something that happened in a couple of the later shows. There was that. We did do that. I think that was 2017, maybe. Yeah, there was some of that. And Crimson Guitars were there yesterday, and I guess this weekend. So they're all about guitar and bass setups, mods, building, all of that sort of thing. Might be a good item to consider if there was a show. Like I say, there was that. There were a couple of... in fact, you know what? I think we did a thing, and I think this was part of the Scott's Bass Lessons section of the show. And they had like 3 luthiers coming in to, like, I think they had Sheldon Dingwall, maybe it was Rob Elric, maybe it might have been Roger Sadowski, and they were doing all of this. And then there was Martin Sims with his Enfields and stuff, and he was talking about setups and work and customization. So that has been done. We did do some of that. Maybe not enough, but yeah, that certainly featured in a couple of the shows. Evo Bass. Woo. I can't even put my fingers on camera. There we are. Yeah, all of that. Russell, we have plenty of theatres here that can run videos on their ad projectors. Okay. People will capture live shows and show them at theatres that have the smaller projectors for showing ads pre-movie. Yeah, that's taking shows into a technological level that takes a lot of money. That ain't going to happen here in the UK, I can tell you. Because I know how much the old shows used to cost. Everything now costs even more. So no, the question stands, would you buy a ticket? It wouldn't be an electronically streamed thing. There are some people that come or used to come to the shows and would stream on their channels. Problem is the Wi-Fi can't cater for thousands of people using Wi-Fi all at the same time, sadly. Yeah, it's a nice idea. It's a nice possibility, but also the thing you have to remember here is this: were this to be hung on the magazine, the new magazine, the publisher is not a huge publisher. It's a lot more. It's a lot smaller. I think it has about 25 magazines or something on its roster. We're just a new magazine. So again, if you were to set up a show like this, they have to front up all the money to book the venue. You are then reliant on tickets. If tickets don't sell, this is the juggling act. So you got to book the venue. You got to sell the tickets. Without the tickets, you can't book the artists. But without the artists, you can't get people to buy the tickets. That's why you have the mag to say, at this show, for 4 months leading up to that show, we've got these people coming. And you constantly hammer it home to the people that are reading your magazine that these superstars they're reading about are going to be at this show. And you really should buy a ticket. You don't want to miss out. I don't think anyone has ever done it without technical glitches, though. We have a giant pack of nerds in Portland, so it works out sometimes. Right, got you. Oh yeah, I was just pointing out that when you're ready to blow up globally, that'd be lovely. There's easier routes for exposure than there used to be. Sure, it's a money thing. At the end of the day, it has to pay its way. You cannot run a show and make a loss. Otherwise, it doesn't happen again. So there's Young Richard evening. You have to. It has to self-perpetuate itself. If you don't do that, it gets pulled, which is what happened after 2019. Although, to be fair, that was because of COVID, and we couldn't go out and we couldn't do a show and what have you. And then when we came out of COVID, the cost of paper was 5 times what it had been before COVID. And then we got hit with the whammy of the Ukraine-Russian war, and all the fuel prices in Europe and certainly here in the UK went through the roof. And distributing magazines requires trucks, vans, whatever, distributing the magazines. You got to pay for the fuel to get them from the printing source to where they've got to go to. And you suddenly got all those fuel costs, and it had just gone ballistic. So between the paper and the fuel prices, that's why BP stopped. Yes, I accept it's a rolling website and it has socials, but it's not that, is it? It's not in your hands printed. So there we go. Mark, recent discovery, Julia Large. Yeah, Mrs. Richie Kotzer. She plays bass. Yeah, and I saw those pictures today. I was like, huh, he married a bass player. Saw her play on the recent Smith concert. Well, here's a little story for you, Mark. Adrian Smith lives about 1.5 miles that way. I think he still lives in my village. My next door neighbour used to play tennis with him at the local tennis courts. She was playing bass on that tour, was she? Very good. Russell, heck, there's a couple of theatres for sale here right now. If I had the cash, I'd invest for sure. Takes a lot of money to run a theatre. Mark Morris Jones, you know that Vixen is basically wives of other famous musicians. Yeah, they weren't back in their heyday. There we go. As of June 21, 2024, the band currently consists of Petrucci, Britt Lightning, Julia Large, and newly announced lead singer Rosa Lariciuta. Okay, right, yeah. Neville, appreciate the financial challenges. Lots of conferences have platinum, gold, silver, bronze sponsors, which are the big companies, and takes pressure off the mag to carry the can. So back in 2013, which is the first one I worked on, the first show in 2011 was really big. There was loads of companies. When I did the first one that I worked on in 2013, it was clear that some of those companies weren't there. So after 2 years, they weren't going to be at the show. By 2015, quite a few of the large companies like Korg, Fender, Ibanez weren't at the show. By 2016, Yamaha wasn't at the show. So we had all those big gear manufacturers not attending. And we ended up with more and more of the smaller sort of custom build independent luthiers, which is fine. That was great. But without the big multinational, like Fender being there, Ibanez, Headstock Distribution, Yamaha, if they're not advertising and pushing the show and putting money into the show, again, the pot of resources sort of decreases. So having that platinum, gold, silver, bronze thing, great idea in theory. In theory, a lot of companies won't go for it. And I know towards the tail end of the last two shows, 2018, 2019, I was hearing more and more complaints from the people that they wanted to take up the stands, that the at the time Future were pushing the costs of the stands up. So you really had to justify gear sales in order to justify yourself being there. A lot of people don't buy instruments. I mean, I have to say there was some, not bargains, but there was some really good deals on yesterday, and I guess that continued today. But if you need to sell instruments in order to justify your stand being there, if you don't shift anything and your gear is quite expensive, it's a lot to pocket. However, you never know that, 2,000 people might have come and taken a business card, and some of those might buy instruments after the show. I bought a bass at the show twice. I just bought some bits and bobs yesterday. Where have I put them? So I bought some Music Nomad gloss, like the cleaning wax stuff, because I didn't have it. I had the lacquer for polishing, but not the wax. And I also got myself a new Music Nomad. It's called a fret. It's a fret rocker. It's built into one, but it's a string action gauge and pickup height. So the one that you see me use on the workbench videos is considerably thinner than this. Bought from Amazon a long time ago. Some of the print has started to come off. This thing weighs a ton. It is so heavy. So I'm holding it, and it's so hefty. And lovely Ben, High Tech Distribution. I said thank you very much for this, the old fret guard thing that you've seen me use on the workbench videos. Anyway, they had loads of the Music Nomad stuff there, so I got the old wallet out and bought a few bits and pieces, so it was all good. But they had some good deals. So Fair Trade Music from Birmingham were there. I had a lovely chat with them. They have got some instruments that they're having made out in China. Really nice instruments, actually. 250 to 300 pounds. Seriously good. Be going up there very shortly to spend a day with those fine people, so looking forward to that. There we go. Is everyone saying hello? Russell, so he's back in the village. Sorry, obscure Iron Maiden joke. Ha! Yeah, a lovely village, it has to be said. There we go. 50 Thunders. Will PMT Music Store ever return? Don't think so. Not sure. The brand name might. I'm not sure it'd be the same company. I used to go to the store opposite Temple Meads in Bristol, right? Staff there was superb. Bought your Hofner bass and the Ashdown amp there. Missed that place. I loved the PMTs. There were a couple of smaller ones in London which were great, but they had so much gear stuffed in them. It was very hard to demo anything or try anything. There wasn't a lot of room. They literally had stuff floor to ceiling, and you were trying to do mag reviews, and it was like very tight. But yeah, I loved PMT. I really did. I thought they were very good. Neville, could consider it starting as running every 2 or 3 years. That might be seen as less risky. Yeah, that's a possibility. Maybe every 2 would work. But again, as I say, this is just a topic of conversation. This chat hasn't been had with anyone regarding the new mag. I'm sure in the back of the darker recesses of all of our minds that are involved in this, we're all thinking, if this is a big success, could we do that again? I know Joel and I would love to do it again, but the whole thing is it's a big financial investment, and if it goes wrong, there might not be a mag afterwards. So we will see. These are all ideas that will get mentioned across various meetings, and we'll see where we go. I just hope you all enjoy the mag. Those of you with subscriptions, the magazine gets posted out tomorrow from the subscription house. If you're in the UK, it could arrive Tuesday. It should have arrived by Wednesday. People abroad, I would imagine you'll have it by the weekend. So It'll be interesting to hear how quickly you guys get it. So, and I'd like feedback, good, bad, and indifferent. I want to hear what you like, what you don't like, what you think could be better. All of that. If you love something in the mag, or we do something really good, tell me, feed it back. I can feed it back to the publisher and the editor. That's how we make these things good. Oh, the old foam's going to fly off there. Right, let's have a look here. Barry, hey, I have a question. Currently have £1,000 to upgrade your gear. What's best to buy, head or a cab? What have you currently got, Barry? Tell me what you've got, and then that could well influence what I would suggest to you. And also, what bass do you play, and what genre style do you play generally? Gaz, PMT was great. It was a shame when we lost it. Used to visit the Manchester store regularly. Okay, I never went there. Richard, you never liked the larger stores like PMT. They all need a bass specialist who makes sure the basses are all set up well and with clean strings. Richard, I go to some of the smaller shops and the basses aren't set up well. And the clean strings. If I could tell you how many times I've done review days at various retailers, and I've picked up basses that haven't had so much as a truss rod tweak, and you think Robin Hood would do well with this. It happens too often, and sometimes things arrive in a box, get put out on shop floor, it sells, and they get another one out of a box and put it on shop floor, and it sells. Just the way it is. It's what you're referring to there is what I call retail perfection, and it's a rare thing. I've played stuff at the gallery, loved the guys at the gallery. They know I think they're absolutely fabulous. But there have been basses I've picked up thinking, oh, I'd like to buy that. Now, what people don't know, if they don't ask, is that if you don't ask the people in the gallery, could someone give this a tweak? It only has to go downstairs and they'll set it up so you can play it. A lot of people don't do that and then walk out the door and the store's missed a sale. If you ask the people at the gallery, there's a bass building workshop right underneath you. And John and Martin will always do that for you. Stores that don't have that sort of facility, if the staff know how to do it, sometimes you've got staff working in a store and they don't know how to do truss rods and setups. Like I say, the cheaper end of instruments and stuff, they get taken out of a box, they get probably wiped down with a cloth, put on the stand. It sells within 3 days. They go back into the stock room, they take another one out of the box, wipe it down, put it on the stand. That's the way it is. I liked PMT. I used to love doing our review days at the Birmingham one because it was like an aircraft hangar. And I could go through their whole bass selection, which was huge at that point. And, you know, if I wanted to review Ibanez basses, I could have a choice of like 7 or 8 of each model in any colour, which was fabulous because we go, like the model, but don't like the colour. You got better. Oh yeah, you can have it in this, that timber, that finish. Do you want satin neck, gloss neck? Loved it, and they were always very accommodating. We did some great review days there. Loved doing it. It's a shame when the previous aircraft hangar closed, and the new one was okay. They just didn't have a huge amount of bass stock, and we never did another bass review day after 2017, that one. Then I did a couple of PMTs regionally, but again, those stores weren't that big. They were filled floor to ceiling with gear, and a bit hard to do review day. Trying to accommodate the photographer was half the problem. But there we are, halcyon days. We got the work done. So yeah, I mean, I was hoping to do some testing and filming yesterday and have some really nice content for the channel. It just didn't happen. It was so busy speaking to people, re-establishing connections. Yeah, but everyone was in fine form. Everything towards the magazine seemed positive. I didn't hear one. No, actually, I did hear one negative comment, and that gentleman will remain nameless. And I understand the point he was making to me, but I thought he was being overly negative so as to appear dramatic, overly dramatic. And his insinuation was, he was making a point. I'm trying to do this without dropping myself in the crap here. He was making the point that we'd reviewed some of his products before and we didn't know what we were talking about. So indirectly, he was actually accusing me of not knowing how to review his basses. To which I responded, A, you didn't seem to have a problem when they got great reviews. B, I know how to use your preamps. And I have now three Alembics. I had two at the time. So I know how that works. And, okay. So I don't think he'll be chasing any reviews from us. That's fine. Great gear. Can't fault it. Love his instruments. But, yeah. Wasn't expecting the tirade I got, but there we go. So if he doesn't want to do that and he's fine not having reviews, then that's all fine and dandy. So there we go. Good to see Chris Childs yesterday. He did a great demonstration. I don't know if he did one today. Anyone been at the show today? Did Chris do a demo today? I don't know. Saw Sheldon Dingwall, had a lovely chat with him. Called up with Ashdown, Dan Gooday. Dan, I'll be in touch tomorrow. Email. Going to go and do a day of filming and stuff at Ashdown, so that'll be good. They got loads of new gear coming out and some new basses later in the year as well. We saw Headstock Distribution, Ibanez Laney, Quartz at 440 Distribution, and there were various smaller retailers and luthiers, and we'll get round to them. Mr. Sapko, of course, bless him. Lovely t-shirt. It's a very snug fit, young Daniel. Thank you very much. And who do we see? I went to see Audio Distribution Group. Do loads of pedals and stuff. I was checking out all the Source Audio stuff, of course. They've got loads of stuff. And they went, oh, new magazine. Right. We'll get some stuff to you. I said, great. I said, you know I've got a YouTube channel. Why haven't you sent me some stuff in the last 5.5 years? Have you? I said, come on. You both follow my Facebook page. How did you not know? Or maybe you don't follow my Facebook. I don't know. Maybe you've unfollowed. I said, I've got a YouTube channel with close to 5,500 subscribers. Do you want your pedals reviewed on there? Yeah. I said, well, come on then. What are you waiting for? So hopefully a load of stuff coming from them. Saw Andrew on... Rewind. Andrew at Anaconda. He was doing well. Had some great instruments up. Bass Direct, of course. And Ernie Ball, Strings and Things. That was all good. Saw Wayne Lee, my old mate. Albert Lee's son. So he's in charge of all that side. So we'll be in touch, Wayne, very shortly. Barnes and Mullins, of course. All their stuff. So in this issue... I'll try and show you you won't see because of the light anyway. So the 4 reviews that if you have the digital content will be Orange Rig, PV Rig, of course, Zuma's favourite. And then via the back page of my interview, on the digital version, you'll see 2 buttons at the bottom. So in there, you'll see the Ibanez Talman bass. So Headstock Distribution, I'm coming your way with socials this week. And... obviously, the very fine Bass Centre Neil Murray Snakebite. I love this bass. And I told Barry so on Friday when I spoke to him. I'm going to be seeing young Barry Morehouse very soon. I will probably be cultivating a whole load of questions from you fine folks so I can do an interview with him, which we've been talking about doing for ages. And I did mention to him on Friday. And I think actually getting him on here on a live chat probably isn't the best way of doing it because no one comes up with many questions. We're there with dead air. Whereas if I ask you for questions, I can go mob-handed with a nice ton of questions and film it all and then edit it up into something that is watchable. So he's very up for doing that. There'll be loads of other Bass Centre products coming through, so that's outstanding. And yeah. But yesterday was very... inspirational. It confirmed what I thought, which is that the bass community hasn't gone away in terms of what we had before. It's just a little fractured. But the energy and the drive for it is still there. I feel like people still want it. Clearly what we do here on the live chats on Brooksy's Bass Corner sort of reinforces that, but I'm dealing with people all over the world here. Whereas at the shows, it's more UK. If take-up of the magazine is great, then that will afford us the opportunity to do lots of other things. As I say, we now have a WhatsApp group between me and my editor called The Melting Pot, and everything goes into there. All our ideas. The lovely thing is having the video content, which means we can do a lot more things that we couldn't, or you could write about previously, but now we can demo it. So we want to do comparisons. If we get sent 4 different chorus pedals, we don't have to write about it. We can actually do a video demonstration. So everyone out there who's a subscriber can hear it, see it. So everything we're saying is backed up by the performance of the gear. So if we say something isn't good, or something didn't work, or this wasn't great, you can see it for yourselves. We're not making it up. It's there in black and white. Just like the PV amp review, the thing was rattling, and I say on the camera, this is rattling. And it's the metal fascia. They haven't put a screw to fix it in place. It's too wide, and the screws at either end aren't dealing with the point in the middle, which is now vibrating with bass frequencies. So as soon as you put a bit of white gaffer tape on it, and thankfully they'd taken it off for the show, I could see the outline of where the tape had been. It had gone back to them with the tape. I realised when the courier came to collect it a couple of weeks ago, I thought, Christ, didn't take that tape off. They said, yeah, we wondered what that was. I said, the front fascia rattles. Has no one played this? Well, not at volume. I said, I wasn't playing it very loud. I was only on 30% volume. But the front metal fascia rattles all the time. Oh, I said, feed that back to PV. People are going to see it on the video. So, we're not going to say everything's hunky-dory. If we find fault with stuff, that's the point of the video, is that we can back it up. You send us a bass with noisy hardware like that Yamaha BB235, I'm going to show you it's rattling, and this is, I know it's that because as soon as I put my finger on it, it stops. So that's how it's all going to work. So yeah, so come on in, folks. It's just coming up to 7:30. It's live chat 155 here on Brooksy's Bass Corner. I'm just quickly going to check the stream health and the analytics. We've got a new subscriber. That'll be that young man who subscribed. So thank you very much. Yeah, views are good. Thank you. What are we on? 248. Very good. Thank you for watching, folks. I'm just checking that's working. That's all good. Let me just go in there, stream health for that, because obviously we've got 2 feeds, got horizontal and vertical to fit your device. Stream health on that is looking very healthy, of course. Good. And stream health on that is also good. Cool. Don't forget, folks, we've got the super chat facility is there. Super thanks as well if you wish to contribute to the channel. Keep us going. That's all good. Right, that's all done, and that's working too. Excellent. So there we are. Honesty is always the best policy. I've never done a dishonest review in my life. I've never been bought out on a review. I've never been paid anything for a review. And if I find issues with gear, whether it's a bass, an amp, an effect pedal, or anything else, I call it out. And that's the joy of my channel. I can do that. It's, publishers don't have to worry if I'm doing something on my channel. Nothing to do. I don't have a publisher for a channel. With the magazine, it's slightly different. I reaffirmed with the publisher yesterday, I will run something past you if I find something seriously wrong with a bit of gear. But with the video reviews, I will demonstrate why we're saying that, or we're not making it up. If that's how a manufacturer or distributor supplies the gear, you send me a bass with dead strings on it, I'll be pointing it out in the review. If the strings are all buzzy and the setup's bad, I'll be saying it's bad. So it's good because it makes people pull their bloody socks up. I mean, many's the case, I was about to say. Many's the time we had stuff come through for review and it was blatantly obvious. It hadn't been set up before it was sent out. It had an old set of dead strings and they just couldn't be bothered to change them. And I used to write in the reviews, strings were severely lacking. And then you get the company go, well, why can't you change the strings? Why should I have to pay out my own pocket to change the strings on a bass you've supplied? Why am I going to put a brand new set of strings on a bass that after I've reviewed, it's come back to you? No. You're the manufacturer, distributor, retailer, whatever. You provide the strings. You put fresh batteries in. If you send us something and it isn't up to the review, that's your fault. Present your wares in the very best possible light for us to review it with, because then it takes all the mishaps out of the equation. So, yeah. Richard, did Barry answer with what gear he wants to upgrade from yet? No, I haven't seen that. Come on, Barry Ballbag. Not Ernie Ballsack. No, Barry Ballbag. Maybe they're brothers. Tell us what gear you've currently got, what bass you have, and what genre you play. And then I will try and advise accordingly. Yeah. Because you've said what best to buy, a head or a cab. I don't know what you've got. I don't know what you're upgrading from. And if you're buying only one of those things and keeping one, I'm assuming you already have amplification. But if you're only upgrading one, what's the other part? What's the other element that you're keeping? There's no point you having a nice hi-fi head and you've got a rock-based 2x15, So, yeah, we need to know these things. Isn't that right, Stacey? Merch links, obviously, in the description box. Affiliate links for Amazon, Thomann, vidIQ, the Bass Center, and Top Cashback, all in the description box. Please leave comments, folks, if you're watching this after the event, and please give the video a thumbs up. And before I go any further, I just need to put a little something into the comments section of this video. Before I forget, I need to pin it. There we are. Right. Can I pin it? Can I pin it? Hope so. No. Looks like I can't pin it until the live chat finishes. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Cleaning up. Oh, I forgot to even mention it. So busy this evening. I did a video last week. Well, you remember last week I was asking for people's questions for Joel, my editor. And I did that video and it went up on Friday night, just before the show yesterday. I'm just going to put a little link. A little link, not a big link. A little link up. In case you've missed it or you'd like to check it out. It's a good watch, actually. Give you an insight into our working relationship, what we used to do at the previous mags, and what we're plans for this mag. But yeah, if you don't know who Joel is, he's my editor. He was the editor at Bass Guitar Magazine and Bass Player. And I'll just put that in there. Feel free to check that out if you wish. And yeah, it's just a good conversation. I did that on Thursday night, edited it up on Friday. Gareth, you had the issue of a rattling grill a few weeks back. They're annoying. But the thing with the PV is it's the metal fascia of the amp. Nothing to do with the cabinet or anything else. It's the actual metal panel. It's long and wide. And I think the metal is probably quite thin. It's attached in all four corners, which is great. But there's nothing in the middle to hold it in place there. And that's what's causing the rattling. So as soon as a small piece of tape, I should have used sellotape really, but I didn't have it to hand. You put the tape on the front part of the grill, run it as tight against the chassis when the tape sticks on that, and stop the buzzing. I just wanted to get the review done. Evening Stacey, Richard saying, Evening Stacey, sorry, didn't know you were here. There's no list of users on here. No, there never is a list of users. What are you on about? No, there is never a list of attendees on live chats, not as far as I'm aware. I get a thing that says how many people are watching, but you never see a list of who's actually involved. But it's all good. It's all good. So I've got to do a big shout out for the mag, of course. If you wish to take out a subscription to the mag, so you won't be able to buy this magazine in newsagents or paper shops or wherever you are on the world, unless that newsagent takes out a subscription and then they sell it in their store. You might get it at certain base retailers, maybe. They might hold stocks, I don't know. But basically, the easiest way to get this is a print copy, which is this, of course. Lovely magazine. And the print subscription, I think, is £27 for the 4 issues that we're going to do, because it's quarterly, it's not monthly. The digital version, if you don't want the paper copy, you just want the digital version, that's £20. I assume people with the paper version will get access to the video content and the digital version. Again, this is a conversation we've got to have over the next couple of days, because we're all going to get asked these questions and I don't know what the answer is. So, but I know the video content is there on the Fellows Media YouTube channel, but it's shut down at the moment in private mode because those videos don't go live till tomorrow. So that's how that works. If you want to take out a subscription, I'll post this up, which is what I was trying to pin as a comment underneath, but let me just get that for you. And if you want to check any details out, just go to www.thebassistmag.com. But you can help the mag and help me. I have a personalized subscription link here. So if you wish to take out a subscription, use that link that's going up there live. Ah, that's it. It's crossed over onto 2 posts. Sorry, folks. But yeah, if you just want the link without the bit of garb beforehand, I'll just put that up. So that is there. So first issue will be available first week of June. Then I think it's second week in September. I think first week in December. And then by that point, final issue will be March, and then be subscription renewal. And if you find folks take out subscriptions, which is great, using the Brooksy link, that gets fed back to the analytics team at the publishing house. And when the subscriptions come up next year, there's a very, very strong possibility you'll get a reduced subscription rate because you've bought it through my link. So the more support you show for the magazine using the links I provide, all sorts of little bonuses and offers and things can come your way. So they're very keen to promote their wares via this channel and my socials on the various platforms. So it's all good. It's all good. And I thank you in advance to all the people who've taken out subscriptions already. It's amazing. Amazing. I've just got my ex-editor, Steve Harvey. He may come on the live chat. How about that? Steve is a veteran of the bass, guitar, acoustic world, currently working at Loudon. And he goes back quite a way. He was my second editor at BGM, and actually kind of, I wouldn't say took me under his wing, but he gave me loads of work when he sort of took over from Adrian Ashton. I remember him saying, we're having a bit of a change in the team. Are you all right to do loads of reviews? I went, yeah, just throw all the stuff at me. I'll turn it around for you. And he was quite a guiding light first couple of years that I was writing for the mag. We saw him yesterday. At one point yesterday, there was Adrian, Steve, Nick Wells, Ben Cooper wasn't there, and Joel. So all of the editors from the point the BGM started, apart from Ben, were all there together at the same point. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was a good day yesterday. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Very inspired. Come away with lots of ideas. Joel and I were spitballing ideas for the mag, left, right, and centre, all the way there and all the way back. Because we now got to consider not just stuff in written form. We have to consider the video side of it and what that can allow us to do. And we can do so much more that we couldn't before, because now we have a video aspect that we just didn't have. How would you have done, you know, a lot of the stuff that we used to do? We didn't have that outlet. Like I say, you know, Blaze and Future used to record so much video of the shows, none of it ever surfaced. So we will see. We'll see how everything all transpires. It's going to be a very interesting couple of months. The joy is that we aren't like absolutely mental now trying to produce a mag every single month. We've now got time. Now this issue is out, and start getting people's feedback on what we can do and what we can't. Joel's actually got time. We don't have to start really writing until April. We want to get it put to bed by about the second week in May, if not before. So yeah, it's good. So we've got a little breather now. We can sort of take stock, see how it's received, see how subscriptions go, all of that. It's great. It's great. That was the thing. The old mag was always month, and you literally couldn't get your breath between each. It's a war of attrition getting through it. This time it's like, okay, right, we've got 86 pages. What are we putting in this issue? And we can line stuff up. I mean, we've got great ideas for people to interview. There's a lot of big performers coming through the UK this summer. Let's get their bass players, you know. Do some behind the scenes stuff on big shows. Put it up on the video side of things. Great. Great. See if we can get Duran's tech. Bernie, young Bernie. Let me come and shadow him for a couple of hours when they next do a show in the UK. It'd be great. We'll see. We'll see. Right, folks, let's have your questions and your comments. Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to ask about the mag, about the show yesterday, anything about the channel, whatever you want. What's concerning you in the world of bass at the moment? Evening to all those who might be watching through, who've come through from Bass Chat. Hope any of you that went to the show had a good time. And some news that I've spotted on Bass Chat. Adam Clayton has commissioned a custom precision bass from John Shuker here in the UK, no less. Very interesting. A black P. Because he hasn't got enough P basses, obviously, of course. But when you've got all that money, what are you going to spend it on? You know. He should pay for the bass show. So he could walk around like a lord. That'd be great. That would get it done. But yeah. So as I said, if I sort of crossed your path at the show yesterday and I didn't say hi, I'm very sorry. I was flat out all day, not doing actually what I wanted to do. I actually thought I was going to sit and test some gear and have some me time and get to film it all, and I didn't get any of that. I was running around trying to re-establish connections with the bass builders, the retailers, distributors, all of that. Letting them know that we're out there, handing out free copies of the mag. So many of them were in that large room downstairs. They didn't know the bass bit was upstairs and didn't know we were there. So they're like, what are you doing here? That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm doing. Magazine. Yeah. How about that? You suddenly realise who says they watch your content and follow you on socials and who doesn't. So the fabulous people knew I was going to be there. The not so fabulous, like, what are you doing here? Right, yeah, you don't watch what I post, or maybe you've unfollowed. That's fine. That's fine. And then later tonight, once this live chat finishes, young Zuma and I are going to be recording the second part of our Rio overview. We did the first third last night. Let's check subscribers 155. No, we're still on 155. Views, we are on 273. Thank you very much. Thank you for checking us out if you've not been on here before. It's all good. Excellent. Feel free to hit the emoji icon, folks. Give that a good pummeling, if you'd be so kind. Give the video a thumbs up. Would be outstanding. If you're watching this after the event, feel free to leave comments, and I'll respond to them as soon as I get a message from YouTube to say there is one. And don't forget the super chat and super thanks facilities are there as well if you wish to contribute to the channel. Keep us going. Everything gets paid for here on the channel, so everything you see on the videos, everything that makes the channel work and happen, and all the workbench videos, all the demos, recording, lighting, all of that, we pay for that. So if you want to help to keep it all going, help the channel, feel free to use super chat or super thanks. Merch links are in the description box. Actually, let's see if we've got any deals going on, shall we? I know I do this every week now, but the promos come and go so quick. That's the one. Europe, isn't it? And here we go. Oh, folks. That's good. Took my eye off the ball. Folks, up until midnight tonight, if you want any Brooksy's Bass Corner merch, links are in the description box. 30% off. It was yesterday, so obviously I was out the house all day yesterday, and today, 30% off everything across both stores, UK and Europe, US and worldwide. 30% off. So you've been holding off buying some merch. 30% off is, I think the most I've ever seen was 35%, but that was about 3 years ago. I've not seen that come up since. So 30% at the moment until midnight tonight. Gareth, yesterday's gig went well despite me being on crutches. What happened there? Just remind me. You sent me a message and I was flying around the show and I thought, I can't deal with all the notifications flying in on my phone. Why were you doing a gig on crutches? Richard, did anyone watch the Nick Fife interview on YouTube this week? No. Didn't know there was one. What channel? What was that posted on? Didn't see that. I interviewed Nick Fife 10 years ago. Cool. Where did that go? He was with Temperance Movement. I think he's still with them. Very nice chat. Very nice chat. What's he up to? Waiting for young Gareth to respond here. Why were you on crutches? I can go back into our chat. You sprained your ankle doing a tip run on Friday. And had a pub gig booked for yesterday. Right, got you. Got to be careful. Got to look after yourself. The thing is, when you're a bass player, and it was harder when we used to have heavy amplification. You had to look after yourself. I know so many musicians who do Sunday football and what have you, and then they're knackered and they can't do the gigs because they break something or they get tackled or sprain an arm or a wrist or break a leg and all that. You've got to look after yourself. It's not like a paid job where you carry on. If you're totally self-employed and a sole trader as a musician, you injure yourself and you can't gig, you've got no money coming in. Funnily enough, the Bass Centre used to have a football team, and there were some named players used to play for them, and I always thought, why are they doing? Okay, yes, you want to keep fit and go to the pub with the lads after and all that. You break something, if you've got a world tour coming up and you can't go because you broke your leg playing football. Craziness. What's that? Oh, yes, we had a very nice photo. I had a couple of photos done yesterday, actually. I can share that here, I think. This is the team. Well, three of us. One of them's the publisher's son. And it's not me and it's not Joel, so that kind of gives that away. But there we are. It was very good. Very good. So we're up and running. Up and running. Like I say, those of you who have subscribed, in the UK, you should have your magazines Tuesday or Wednesday. For those of you further abroad, I would imagine they'll be with you by Friday. You might even get them on Thursday. I don't know. Sometimes these things can happen really quick, and you think, God, how did it get there that quick? But they do. So I want feedback. I want you know, any of you that are regulars here, let me know what you think. Good things, bad things, things you think we can do better. I can feed it all back. But like I say, at the moment, that is a 34. That's a 34-page mag, the sample issue. The regular issue will be 86 pages. It's more than double. So it's going to be good. Going to be good. We want to make it as great as we can. We, pulling all the stops out. But because we're doing it quarterly, we have the time to sort of assess everything. We're not doing everything in a rush at breakneck speed. We can consider what we're doing. And the joy of the video thing, as I said to Joel in the video interview that I posted a link up for earlier, we can respond to stuff with the video content. If something happened to a very famous bass player, we can produce a video like really quick. Doesn't have to wait 3 months for the next issue to come out. We can do something and put it into the video content on the channel. Very simple. Very simple. So it's lots of possibilities. We're happy with that. Well, I am. That interview was a great watch. Well, thank you very much. I did a bit of background info. Joe kept saying, why are you asking me all this stuff about me? I said, because people want to know. I want to know. I said, there are questions here I don't know the answers to. And we can't just go, well, we can go full bells and whistles into the mag. I said, but give it a build up. We give people some background on what you've done. It suddenly all falls into context, what we're doing and who you are and what we're doing. You know, it's all interconnected. I tried to make sure it wasn't too long either. I think I chopped out about 20 minutes, but I thought it came out quite well. And it was something that if people were going to the show yesterday and today and they wanted to get an idea what we were about, then you'll get it from that video, clearly. So there we are. So there we go. It's coming up towards 8 o'clock here in the UK. Young Richard, did anyone watch the Nick... you just asked that. I did reply. I think things are a little slow on the live chat tonight. So we will keep an eye on that. If things are slowing down, we'll end early. It's no worries. If you got questions, you want to chat, then feel free to post your questions and comments. Andy Stratford, here he is. Now subscribe to the mag. Look forward to reading it. Thanks, Andy. Yep. If you've subscribed to it, you should have your copy Tuesday or Wednesday. You didn't hear me. Not paying attention, young Richard. No, you posted it up, and I mentioned it for about 30 seconds. So no. Didn't see the interview with Nick Fife. Didn't know there was one. Hadn't seen anyone post up about it. Interviewed him 10 years ago for the mag. Actually, I've still got the audio for that. That can go up on the channel at some point, but I'm not sure how many views it will generate. So trying to put up stuff that generates views rather than just putting stuff up because it's something that interests me. Got to do the old keyword research and all the stuff through vidIQ to see if something is worth putting up or not. So content this week, there will be the demos. The interview with Joel kind of took over filming and prep last week. So the demos I've been promising will appear, some of them will, this week. And look forward to the Rio thing with me and Zuma. That will be probably a week for him to cobble that together. What else? Got Folks Visit this week, middle of the week. And a few other bits and bobs, but it's hopefully a bit of a clear run this week, so hopefully we'll be able to put a load of content out. Gareth, might be looking for a new amp, as it will probably be cheaper than repairing your Mark bass. Yeah. Any recommendations? Currently using 4-ohm Mark bass cabs, usually passive basses. How much do you want to spend? What's your budget? And do you want new or second hand? You may find up in Manchester there is a recognised Mark bass repair centre. So it might be worth asking them, but just be, as we've said before, just be prepared that it might just be cheaper just to buy a new amp. But there are people, actually go on Bass Chat, Gaz, because there was a load of people talking about Mark bass repairs, and there were certain people that actually frequent Bass Chat that do the repairs. So have a look on there. You might find there's someone relatively local. You just don't know. But if it's going to be a huge faff and a big bill at the end, or they just go, no, can't fix it, mate, then yeah, new amp. Got around 500-ish, maybe a little more, not fussed if new or used. You might find some Aguilar tone hammers, like a 350 or a 500, which will sound great with your passive basses. If you can come across a AG 700, snap it up. You'll love that. Other than that, Gallien-Kruger, Fusion 500, or any of their MB range in the silver. I mean, if you're not bothered about features, you just want a good, reliable tone in a small package that doesn't cost a fortune, see if you can find a Gallien-Kruger MB200. I've got one over there. Nice and small, lightweight, all the features you'd need for doing a bunch of gigs, and it won't cost you a fortune because they're not in fashion. So you might find, and it's rugged as hell, great, simple. I think it's got, is it 2 mids? Yeah, 2 mids, bass and treble, and there's a contour switch, headphones, line out, XLR. I haven't looked at what their prices are lately, but I don't imagine they'll be too much above 250 quid max. Second hand, 200 or less. Let's just have a little look, shall we? Just go into Google, Mike, and type it in for the man. GKMB 200 bass amp. Second hand. That's a Warwick. Sorry, I'm talking crap. Sorry. eBay price is 300 quid. Blimey. Really? I bought mine 200 quid in 2010. Oh well. I say that. Oh no, it's sold. Doesn't seem like they're that prevalent. Maybe people are keeping hold of them. Let's have a look on eBay for you. Maybe they don't come up as often as I thought they might. Oh, blimey, I do a search, there's none on there. How many amps come up just because I put GK in there? And there's no, and then none of them are. No, none in the search. Maybe if I put Gallien-Kruger in. Ah, there is one. 343 quid. It's been discontinued. That's why. And now people want them and they're going up in price. Okay, one for it's in Japan. That's not happening, is it? Let's have a look on Bass Chat then, shall we? See if there's any in. There's a Gensben Shuttle 9.2 on Bass Chat. Gaz, 425 quid. That was the amp you were asking me about. I've got one over there. There's an SWR 350 Redhead combo, 350 quid. That's the whole combo, though. You just want the amp. Trace Elf, you've already got one, haven't you? There are some PV units, like the Mini Max, Warwick Warwick Gnomes. That's sold. Sorry, it was a Gallien-Kruger Fusion 550, which is sold. Another elf. I mean, you could look at some of the Ashdown Rootmaster stuff. EBS Reedmar. They come in different wattages. Mesa Boogie Subway. They've not fallen out of popularity. They were all the rage about 10 years ago. Now, you occasionally see them, but they're not that prevalent. Yeah, I think you have to have a bit of a look, Gaz. I thought there would be more around, but clearly I didn't realise they'd been discontinued. There's young Stacey. Quite a load of messages here. Zuma, get an old GK. They're practically indestructible. Stacey saying hello to Andy. Hello to Richard. Hello to Beat After Beat. I recommend the Ampeg Venture series of heads. Been very impressed with yours. Okay. You had a good week. Using your old Hartkey HA2500 head at the moment. Very good. Andy Stratford saying hello. Gareth. You've got an elf, right? Okay. Warwick Gnomes sound fantastic. Stacey, yeah, not bad. Recall. You've been fine, Dandy. There we go. Very good. Yeah, we're up to date. It is coming up towards 10 past 8 in the UK. Hope you've all had good weekends. It is, live chat 155 here on Brooksy's Bass Corner. Don't forget to give the emoji icon a damn good pummeling. Super chat and super thanks super thanks and super chat facilities are there if you wish to help the channel. If you wish to make a donation financially, you can do so. You don't have to. The videos are free to watch, of course. Please give the video a thumbs up. Please leave comments, even if you're watching this after the event. And feel free to share the video out to social media. It's all good. Yeah, there we are. There we are. Let's just check everything is running as it should. That's fine. Yeah, that's all good. We have had 301 views. Thank you very much, people. Blinding work. Can't do it without you. Stream health on that one is good. And the vertical is also good. Good stuff. So like I said, if you've been at the Guitar and Bass show, let us know what you thought of it, how you got on. Did you buy anything? New magazine is out, ready to roll. Maybe you were at the show and picked up your free copy. If you've subscribed, you'll get the magazine. If you're here in the UK, it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday. If you're further abroad, it'll be later in the week. But I would imagine certainly by this time next week, any of you abroad should have had your issues received. You had a new bass day, did you? Monday? Excellent. What did you get? Richard, when Stacey says, oh snap, that doesn't mean she done the same thing. It's an American thing. So it's like, oh, good. It's like a surprise. Oh, good. Yeah. No, I used to fall for that. And she'd go, oh, snap. I said, what? You've done the same thing? No. It's an American expression, apparently. So I'm informed. Don't forget, folks, in the UK, it's Mother's Day next Sunday. Not next, I'm talking rubbish. Week after, 2 weeks' time. I need to book in the next batch of live chats, and I saw that in my calendar. Actually, Gaz, Facebook Marketplace might have one of those amps, you know. Just having a look on your behalf. GKMB 200 bass amp. Nothing. Okay. None of those. But there are loads of bass amps. Unsurprisingly. Oh, I found the amplifier for you, Gaz. If you don't want Class D or you're not bothered, well, there is in Brighton, someone is selling an EBS 350 HD bass amp for 300 quid. I could tell you now, you probably won't have a better bass amp than that. I had one, but it was the 8 ohm version instead of the 4. And so I sold it, oh God, when was that? About 2018 I sold mine, but it's fantastic. Possibly that and the Fafner are the two best amps that EBS have ever made. I don't know if you want to spend £300 on a non-Class D amp, but there's one there on Facebook Marketplace located in Brighton. It will blow your socks off. Where are we? Here we go. Over here, snap, it means if someone says something and then someone else goes, oh, snap, it means they've done the same thing, or you're talking about the same thing. That's what that means. So as I said earlier, Brooksy's Bass Corner merch, links in description box. Got 30% off all channel merch worldwide, all items until midnight tonight. So if you're watching and you're thinking, I've been thinking about getting one of those Mark King quote shirts, trying to say it too quick, they're 30% off until midnight, wherever you are in the world. So it's not midnight UK time, it's midnight wherever you are. So 30% off all Brooksy's Bass Corner merch. So you want a nice mouse mat with the exploding bass logo, you can have one. 30% off, of course. Here we are. Okay. So anyone that's coming in late, if you're looking to take out a subscription for the new mag, which gets well, it's out there now because it's been there at the show. Who are these people? Well, I know who Susie Quattro is. Just looking at the adverts on the back. I will put up a link in 2 seconds so you can subscribe. And it helps the channel, and it also means the channel will get preferential treatment when the resubscription notices go out next year, 12 months' time. You guys will get a discounted rate. There you go. So if you want to take out a subscription to the mag, either the paper-based one or the digital one, use those links. Like I say, it helps me, helps the channel, will help you in the long run, because when all these subscriptions come up for renewal in 12 months, publishers already said to me, we'll do a discounted rate for your channel. So it's like, great. Thank you very much. And it will mean all the other offers relating to subscriptions can get fed through to you guys as well, and all of that. So it's all very good. So now we have a little rest and recuperation week or two. We have some meetings on content and what we want to do, and then we get cracking. And we get that first proper issue. I think, we were talking last night. We want it definitely put to bed at the very latest, second week in May. If we can do it by the end of April, that'll be magnificent. So it'll be good. It'll be good. Geddy Lee will be front cover for issue 1. Nice bit of symmetry there with the first issue of Bass Player. And it's all good. Next round of merch needs your Chihuahua on it. Well, the Chihuahua is going to have his own channel very shortly. And I've been planning to do this for quite a while, but it's having the time to do it. I will be doing it. So he will have merch on his channel. So I will inform you of that when that goes live and is a happening thing. So that'll happen. That'll happen. He had all the women at the garden centre where we were having lunch today absolutely besotted with him. And I said, don't fall for it. He's got the mind of a criminal genius. So don't think he's beautiful and lovely. I said he'll milk that for every possible drop. But yeah. We had some very interesting chats yesterday with the various retailers and distributors, manufacturers and stuff. And, yeah. Good times ahead, folks. Good times ahead. And the lovely thing is all the stuff that I get to do for the mag in terms of video content will eventually make its way here on the channel. So when I'm toiling on a video and it's taking 14 hours and I'm thinking, why am I doing this? It's getting 2 bites of the cherry. So it's not only for the mag, it will also be for my channel, which I would inevitably have poured the time into doing it for that alone. So it will get 2 lots of coverage and 2 lots of exposure. So it's all good. All good. So if you've got any questions, fire away, put your comments in the live chat window and I'll try and deal with them as quick as I can. It's coming up 8:20. So if things are going to go quite quiet, they have been for a little while, then maybe we'll end early and Zuma and I will get our Duran thing happening and we'll get next video done and completed. And yeah, we were gassing on for a good hour and we were only going to do like an hour and 10 minutes last night. We ended up doing about an hour and a half. Couldn't shut us up. And but we realised there was no way we're going to get that whole album covered in that amount of time. So there'll be loads of material for you to sift through, Zuma. And yeah, all good. All good. It's so much fun, isn't it? It's just so much fun. Really. I'm thinking as we get into things like Medazzaland and Pop Trash and it might thin out. It might be smaller episodes because I don't have enough history with that. You know, these albums at the start of the career, that's lifelong history for us. But you know, Medazzaland was where actually no, I kind of got through Thank You, and I bought 2 of the singles off it, and then I thought, where's this going? And then 97, there was so little promotion for Medazzaland over here in the UK. I think I discovered it was out. It was early days of internet and stuff. And I was doing some tech support for a software company. And I remember stumbling across like a Duran fan page and stuff. New album's out. I'm like, new album? I haven't heard anything. Hadn't seen any posters. And that album did literally nothing. And I just don't have a lot of history with it. And that point was where the band really was starting to go downhill. And I remember in 98, they did some gigs in the UK and they weren't greatly attended. I think they did like one night at Wembley. I can't remember if I knew someone that went. I didn't go. I was gigging in Bahrain for 2.5 months, and they were there. They were playing at Wembley when I was away, so I didn't go. And I'm sure someone I knew went, and they said it was really disappointing. It was like lighting wasn't great, Simon's voice wasn't great, playing was all right, but not great. And then when Pop Trash came out, 2000, it was like, there's nothing about this that's floating my boat. And I always hoped something would reinvent the band and they get, back into the groove. And then I remember actually driving. I mean, this isn't me repeating stuff. I'll probably repeat what I'm saying when we get round to this sort of era. I remember driving. I was driving around the North Circular, coming back from a recording session. And I think I had Capital Radio on or something. And they said, oh, and today in news, all you Duran fans. I'm like, right, this has got to be 2000, I think. The original lineup of Duran are getting back together. And I was like, is this April the 1st? And it wasn't. It was like the autumn. But, yeah, Duran, the original lineup are all getting back together. And I thought, well, I haven't heard that Warren's left. And then it was announced. And it was like, oh, right. And they said there's no timetable for a new album. It's just they're going to see what happens. And like, blah, blah, blah. So, oh, okay. And then obviously they got back together and 9/11 happened and 2002, nothing. And then all of a sudden, 2003, here's the tracks. And Sunrise was out, used on the that program. I can't remember what it's called. Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, something like that. Anyway, they used a version, and then it was like a dance remix, and then obviously the version we know came out on the album the following year. And then those dates in Japan, it's like, oh, this is happening now. And suddenly the engine got restarted and away we go. Zuma, maybe for everything past Notorious, I just do a live stream. We keep it to that. Hey, it will get me off my bum to get streaming started on your channel. Okay. Bear in mind, if we do it as a live stream, you can't do all the production stuff unless you use something like StreamYard or another hosting platform that then records while you're doing the live stream and allows you to download it that you can then edit. So things like StreamYard and other platforms, they'll have the live stream section. There's also a recording section. So it records it in the very best quality it can and then creates it as a file for you to download, put into a video editor that you can then do your overlays and everything else on. There we go. There we go. It's all good though. It is. It's just coming up 8:25, folks. It's kind of slowed down a bit. So I'll tell you what. If we'll go for another 5 minutes and then we'll wrap up for the evening. So you and I will be ready to start about 8:45. About 20 minutes. Is that good? I've got to change my t-shirt. I've got to go from this very nice Danny Sapko t-shirt, young Daniel, to a very nice cranberry coloured Rio t-shirt. So you got any questions, comments, folks? Let's have it. You got 5 minutes. Come on now. Starting to Remember is amazing. Yes. Yeah. But, Medazzaland is a hard listen if you're not a devoted Durani, I think. Also, the fact is, I think, isn't it one song on there that John's playing on? You sent an email with photos. I've got to go there. Picked this up last Monday. I had a couple of trade-ins to get rid of, support this rosewood mahogany. Pickups are further towards the bridge than later inspiration, so it sounds like a herd of angry stingrays charging down the hill at you. That can happen. Oh, very nice. Is it heavy? I'm suspecting it's not light. When you see those dense timbers like that with very tightly packed figuring, they tend to be a little weighty. But that's no bad thing. I could see one picture and the rest says I need access. Oh, can I share that? I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't. I'd have to do screen captures and editing, sadly. Oh no, there's a download link. Right. What's that in? Oh yeah. That's the fella. This is what he bought, folks. There you go. Grand. But like I say, anything with that sort of tightly packed grain, they tend to weigh right old bit. Sound great, look lovely, but always heavy. If you get the grain is more sort of wider apart, for some reason they just don't have the same weight issues. But very good, £9.6. Very good. Zuma, I have delusions of grandeur for some live production stuff. We'll discuss this. We can discuss at the end of doing the Rio thing if you want. See what your options are. Vintage Corgi, you'll take care. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. See you next Sunday. Yeah. Gareth, looking at a Mesa Subway D350, okay, for 5:30 tomorrow. You'll like that. Georgie Liardis, good to see you. We're going to be going shortly. You've missed most of the chat. We're going in a couple of minutes. Good to hear from you. Hope you're well. Hope everything's all good. Yeah, nice space. Could never get on with that top horn on those overwaters. They reined it in on some of the later designs. It's like this big chunk that's going across your body. To me, always looked, the upper and lower horns always look very sort of blocky, like they haven't finished it. And I know some people love it, and it just looked to me like they just haven't finished the carving. It's like, oh well, you get the idea, right? Gloss it up, off we go. Yeah, but they're great basses. Nice fingerboard timber. I'm guessing that's rosewood as well. But yeah. You won't be getting a jazz bass sound out of that. That's for sure. A jazz bass, that isn't. Compared to the massive 34-inch stop length, the overwater bodies all look a little on the small side. Yeah, they can be big old. See, it's their look. It's what they go for. But that whole sort of big, clubby paddle headstock wasn't. They sound great and play really lovely, but all of the aesthetic bits that didn't sort of float my boat, kind of what prevented me from buying an overwater. They were always a nice bass that I thought, yeah, one day I'll buy one, but I never have. I never found one that really sort of blew my socks off, and I thought, I've got to have that, so I haven't. It's a beauty. No jazz sounds, no, exactly. Andy Stratford never got on with 5 strings. Yeah, we got... Actually, it was something we were talking about in the car last night, doing a 5-string comparison. The lovely thing we can do now is we can do comparison videos, which aren't shootouts, which leads to manufacturers and distributors getting the hump that their bass came last. There doesn't have to be a last. We're comparing sounds and tones, and the readers and watchers and listeners can hear exactly what we're talking about. So it's just personal preference. So we don't have to do a this is better than that. It's just, and here's another bass with totally different sounds and different tones. Great. It's going to work great. So, and we can do effect pedal comparisons, and we can do all sorts. We can. It's just whether there's money in the kitty to pay me to do it. If there isn't the money, I won't be doing videos on the cheap. That's for sure. They are extremely time intensive, but like I say, if it's something I was going to do for my channel anyway, then it doesn't matter, because I'll get paid for doing it for the mag, and then use a modified version of the video on my channel. So everything that's I've done for this first mag, you will see here on the channel in a modified form, start of May. But if you've got the digital subscription to the mag, you will be able to access it. I'm assuming tomorrow morning. I've got to have a chat with the people that are in charge of the video content and the channel, and just make sure they unprivatize that content, or you can have lots of people trying to look at it and they can't access it. Oh, it's a lark. Richard, I had some experience classically with a 5-string double bass from when you were 18, so my brain seems to be able to adapt. Just the extra neck width slows me down a little. Possibly no bad thing. Every five... it's funny. 5 strings are very personal. And I've got... I'm trying to remember. How many you got? 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4. They all play different, all sound different, all feel different. Neck widths are all different. String spacings are all different. So it seems to be a far more idiosyncratic thing than 4 strings to me. But there we go. Zuma, now the strip portion of the show as Mike and I go change into our Duran shirts. Yes, of course. I'm keeping the cap on, by the way. My hair is not up to what it was, the standard it was last night. So you'll have to do a little edit in the video and say, oh, we've done this in 2 halves. But it's fine. Westford, I'm back from a meeting with your bandmates. Well, very good. Unfortunately, Leo, we're about to go because it's been quite slow the last sort of half hour. But we're going to, Zuma and I are going to shoot off and do the next installment of our Duran series. So it's all good. Okay, on that note, it is coming up 25 to 9 here in the UK. Thank you for watching live chat. 155. Richard, I know what you mean. Some feel very natural as a 5. Others feel as if the extra string was an afterthought. Exactly that. Thank you very much if you tuned in. Thank you for all the comments, all the contributions. Everyone, hope you have a great week. Enjoy the mag if you've subscribed. If you haven't, you can still do so. If you go into the description box of this video, quite near the top, you'll find there's a channel-specific link. I've put it here in the live chat several times. You can help the channel, and if you buy, if you take out the subscription using the link I've supplied, the analytics team at the publishers will see that, and then when we come round to renewing the subscription, it's going again. When we come around to renewing the subscriptions in 12 months' time, you will get a reduced rate. That has already been discussed with the publisher. So that's how that works. On that note, folks, have a great week. If you're out playing this week, enjoy yourselves. Have a great time. Travel safely. Enjoy the mag. Check out the video content. Let me know what you think about it. We'll be back next Sunday. Same time, same place. I'm going to try my damnedest to get as much content out this week as I can. Last week was gearing up to this weekend. Now it's all done, thank goodness. And we've got this lovely glossy magazine is out there for you guys to enjoy. It's all there. It's all there, isn't it? It's lovely. Susie Quattro, how about that? Flea, Sting, what more could you ask for? On that note, folks, have a great week. I'll see you next Sunday. keep sharing, keep liking the live chats, liking the videos, commenting, share the content out to social media. It's all very much appreciated. On that note, have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Zuma, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Send me the link. And, yeah, have a great week. Folks, take it easy. See you soon.